Hello, and welcome to my review for the Studio Series number 110 Shockwave. As you can see here, there he is, standing next to his box, his accessories. We'll look at these in a second. We'll look at him in a second. But here's the box. There it is. Comes with the stands and all that. There he is in the back, doing a pose. Destroy the launch pad and all that. Alright, get out of here. Okay, but we're here for this, not the box. But here's Shockwave right here, and all his glory. Sorry for the two-toned lighting. I don't have any lights anymore. All my lights are capiche, I think is not the word, but I can't. I have to pull my lights out of storage. But here he is. So the things that the Shockwave figure comes with are the essentials, which is this wire, which I'll show you how to connect, and the gun. Now the gun out of the box will not come like this, it will come more like this, but this is more accurate, so you want it like this, more compact. So you actually can have Shockwave if you want, actually, and this will be down, but make sure to flip this up. No, oops, wrong way, flip it down like that. But also, if you do want, you could have Shockwave with the Michael Bay styled right arm instead of the left. So if you want it to be on this arm, you can't have it like that. But I'm gonna go for the more G1 accurate look for this review, which everyone's gonna go for. So what you're gonna want to do to attach Shockwave's cannon arm, take his arm, flip this out, flip in his hand, go in, and that's all you want to do. Next, so this take his cannon arm, that little tab right there on the cannon, if you see it. So that right there, he's got to plug in to the slot right there on his arm. Focus, go plug in right there. So it's just gonna attach. When you hear that snap, you should know it's good. And what you're gonna want to do next is that gonna go back here, take the wire. One side's gonna plug into his shoulder right here. There's gonna be a hole. It's gonna plug right in there. Gotta give you a little sense what should plug in. And one side's gonna plug to that hole right there. There. And that's the Shockwave look. But let's get on to some detail on this figure, because there's some interesting things I noticed while messing around with this figure and doing a little bit of searching for actual reference images online. Ooh, bumped my camera, sorry. But some interesting things I noticed while messing with this guy, and some details that I find very interesting. Let's take a good look at him. The head sculpt, first of all. Gotta love that G1 stylized, very angry eyebrow head sculpt. I'm not too sure about the angry eyebrow. I know some people might like it. I'm okay with it. I like it. It works with his design. I like the exhausts on his shoulders. It gives this Shockwave a unique kind of presence compared to others. I like giving him those unique exhausts on his shoulders. I like those. And the detail on his back. Very clean back Shockwave. Usually Shockwave has like a bunch of stuff on his back. Usually a big square back there. But not this one. Also, I gotta say, for the most part, this guy lacks hollow parts, and I'm pretty happy about that. Which is very impressive for what was the luck, I think? Yeah, I think so. But it's very impressive, honestly, for a deluxe, that he has all this detail with barely any hollow parts, which is very nice, honestly. Surprised this isn't a leader class toy, honestly. Just how nice he is. But one interesting thing I noticed, actually, while messing with this guy, if you look here, and if you look closely, he has an Autobot logo, which isn't an error. It's actually on his official CGI model from the Bumblebee movie, which is an interesting thing, because another thing, maybe it's a reference to the fact that his entire skeleton is just Optimus Prime skeleton from the Bumblebee movie. As you can see here, those are Prime's feet, but gray. You can see some of the detail from Prime too, like the circles on Prime's arms are right there. some of the inner details and all that. So it's very interesting. Or it's just an error, you never know. But I gotta say, I love the sculpting. He's not 100% accurate. I do feel like his sides are the wrong color. I feel like it should be a lighter gray, or yeah, like a lighter gray in my opinion. It would have looked nicer. I get it, because he was in a very dark scene, so I understand why it's just very dark gray. But you can even see that they even bothered to add the layered panels on his shoulders. So many small details that they didn't need to do. They even had the hexagonal pattern in there. They didn't need to, but they did. I love that. Such a nice figure. This guy was definitely worth the wait, honestly. Weird how we got the core class first. Maybe they wanted to wait. But, I mean, hell, even the wire alone has all the details from the movie with the extra wire on top of it. It's just so nice. I like it. It's very impressive how they did this. And the gun too. Let's look at the gun. The gun has all that detail. Just all over it. The bolts and all those small little bits. I mean, this reminds me, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if other people said it too, but this reminds me of Prime Shockwave's gun. The way it looks and like the round part and the piece right there, if you kind of look from the bottom. It always reminded me of Prime Shockwave's gun. I think they might have done that on purpose, maybe they're Easter egg. But, I'll do articulation after we compare him to some other figures. So I just adjust my camera down a little bit. Of course, it makes sense what people are going to compare him to first, because everybody's going to want to compare him to these two. Here is Soundwave. And here is Starscream. Starscream, not in frame. But he is very big, honestly. He's like pretty huge for what he is. So, he is a pretty impressively sized figure. Oh, he's a Voyager. Oops, sorry. He's a Voyager class, sorry. I get them confused sometimes. But, he's a huge Voyager for, like, with a price point. But, those are those two. Compare him to, the character he shares parts with. Good old Studio Series Small of the Optimus Prime. That's a little dusty. But you can see him next to him. Those two look really nice together. Compare him next to Cybertronian Bumblebee. I do have the regular Bumblebee, but I want to compare him to the Cybertronian version because it makes sense. And he's going to dwarf all the Autobots anyway, so Ironheart would be like to hear, but I don't compare him. Of course, we're going to compare him to Core Class Shockwave, which makes sense. Because there he is next to a small one. And I forgot to grab one thing, so I will be right back to grab him. Oops, I messed up. I'm back, and here he is next to his Michael Bay counterpart. They're like the same. Well, actually, never mind. They're not the same size, but he's definitely a head taller. But here he is next to his Michael Bay counterpart. You can really see where they improved this design and made it work with the more G1 look. Which I love these designs equally, both for their own reasons. I love both of these designs very much. So there's those two next to each other. But let's focus more on Shockwave now, shall we? For this review, because I love this figure. Oops, the camera. I do have some issues though with the articulation. I do feel like he's a little limited there, but here we go. So, Shockwave's articulation is very interesting. I feel like it's a little limited in some places. I feel like it could have been better. Like his head in particular. It's like there's definitely a ball joint there, but it doesn't feel like it works really. Maybe it's just the shape of his head doesn't allow it, but like you only get the full 360, but you can't really look up and you can't really look down. You don't really get any side to side. It's very limited in my opinion compared to the other ones. And his arms too are a little limited, which is interesting. I know it's because of how it transforms, but even then, it's a very simple transformation. But you get the full, full all around. This arm does it too, but as long as it does it, it does better without the wire. You get this much movement upwards, blocked by the shoulder panel because this doesn't move. They didn't put on a hinge or anything, which would have been nice. You get this much down. I feel like the ratchet on this side could have been a little more lenient on how they designed it. Like a few more clicks could have helped it, in my opinion, and having the shoulder be able to move out of the way could have helped too. And maybe a butterfly joint could have helped with some poses. Sadly, there's no bicep swivel. I feel like he really needed it up here, because he does have a swivel at his elbow, but it doesn't really help. It kind of helps for posing his arm, but it doesn't really help because he has a pretty good elbow bend. It does bend that much that way, but that's for transformation. But I feel like if he had an elbow bend, it could have really helped. I mean, a bicep swivel. It could have really helped some of his poses, in my opinion. He does have a wrist swivel because of how it's ball joint for the hand. But yeah. I mean, this arm has the same amount of articulation, does all the same things. His waist can go all the way around, as Shockwaves do. There you go. His legs have okay articulation. You get that much forward. You get that much back. Oops, I'll just pop off his arm so you can see. Sorry. You get about that much outwards. You can kind of, no, that's how you get that much outwards. You get a pretty okay knee bend. It could have been better. I mean, I understand why it's like this because of the I mean, not even because of the transformation. I feel like they could have put in like an extra joint here for the old elbow bend, but I think I'm asking too much from what we got, honestly, from a pretty big, what is it, Voyager? So that's pretty impressive, honestly. His ankle pivots are kind of okay. They could have been better. Sorry, this is bothering me. Fix it real quick. It's like, could have been better, could have been worse, but it works for what it is. Cause I mean, I get it. He didn't really do very many dynamic poses in the movie. So what's the, don't do much. I mean, you get that much forward, you get that a lot back because of transformation. But I mean, of course, I know how most people are gonna pose him. They're gonna get him in like, they're gonna have him like this. Get him in the, oops. The arm. Keep popping off his gun. Sorry. Gotta get it right. They're gonna have Shockwave standing like this most of the time. If they're gonna pose Shockwave, they're gonna want to pose him in that one pose he did. They're gonna have Shockwave pose like this most likely. Finish off the look. Yeah, Starscream standing right here. But yeah, most of them are probably pose Shockwave like that, because of that scene. It's a good scene too, actually. I like that scene. But let's get down to Shockwave's transformation. Now, if you own the core class, it should be pretty familiar, honestly. Like, I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but I just find it kind of funny how it's just the core class but big now. I mean, it's not one-to-one, but they're pretty identical. So, let's get down to it. You pop this off. I'm going to pop it off the wire real quick because I want it out of the way because it's annoying me. So, I'm just going to leave it there. So, here we go. So, of course, the hand's already going to be folded in. You want to take it, open it up, fold out his hand, like that. Shouldn't be too hard. Take his arms, turn them this way. Same thing on this side. See the little tab right there? It's going to plug into a slot right there. 1 and 2. Turn him around, take his chest, pop it open, like that, bring it down, get out of the way. We're going to take his head here, fold it down, and fold his chest. Well, actually, before we fold his chest in, actually, we're going to want to make sure everything's out of the way first. So bring up his arms like this. Oops, bring up his arms. They're going to actually plug in to some tabs on his back. I think it's very obvious. These cubes, these slots are going to stab into there, like that, and like that. So something like that. Sorry if I didn't get that on camera. But my camera's so shaky. Sorry if it's annoying. Just sorry. But just the camera real quick. Camera can even look down that far. I don't think this camera can look down. Yeah, I'll just bring it down. That works. But here we are down here. So next what I want to do is take these wheels and turn them around. Do I had to mistransform this whole video? Yeah, I actually had to mistransform this whole video. Whoops. So actually, his wheels are going to be like this in robot mode. You want the wheels to be like this. But make sure you turn them around for vehicle mode like that. Because I had to mistransform the whole video. Sorry, I was messing with it off camera earlier before I started recording. So for robot mode, you want the inner detail like that. For tank mode, you want the track details like that. Basically, you want to be able to see the treads and all that. So, you don't want it like that. Whoops. Had to mistransform. So, now that we're down here, we're gonna bring his legs out like this. Because the sides are gonna go outwards. They're gonna basically click outwards like that, basically. And next, what we're gonna want to do is bring down his chest. Make sure it's out of the way. So his chest is gonna tab in to that piece right there. You see that little slot on the side of the leg right there. You can see it's gonna tab into there. That little slot right there. Tab in. Like that. Same on the other side. And then also, what we're gonna want to do next is these little tabs, these little circles are going to tab into there, into those holes right there on the side of his leg. So like that. Flip them over, and then that's going to slot into there. It's going to go down, like that. And now we can do the chest, which just you crunch it forward, and bam. And that's kind of it. It's very unremarkable without the cannon. So let's get it on there. So what we're going to want to do with the cannon, we're going to want to take it out, unfold it. It's going to uncoil like that. You want the cannon to look like that. There's the cannon. Then this peg is going to flip down. And that peg is just going to plug into there, right? Plug in that part right there. You just plug in this piece right here. You just plug it in back in the same spot, you don't gotta worry. So yeah, that's the tank mode. It's very reminiscent of Transformers Prime, which I kind of like that. I mean, the gun mode would have been nice, but I can understand why they want to do the gun mode for Shockwave. But an H-Tank works too, I mean, honestly. I just wish it was a little more involved, honestly. I just wish there was a little more going on than it just being his tank mode. It's basically just him, but big. That's all it is. I just wish it was a little more involved, honestly. But it's fun. I mean, it's a nice little vehicle mode to just flip out and into if you're bored. Just sitting there, need to do something. It's not too complicated, honestly. So there's the tank mode. I mean, all the tank articulation is here, you know. You can look up, it's a little stiff, so it's pop out. But it can look up. In your rolls, as tanks do, you see it shreds all the under detail. The head is just sticking out. There it is, right there. If you could see it. I mean, it works. I mean, it's not the worst of the alt modes. Obviously, Soundwave has the worst one. It's a terrible alt mode, honestly, Soundwave's. But this isn't about Soundwave, it's about Shockwave. But let's just transform real quick. So I'm gonna transform real quick. Sorry if I didn't compare next to any vehicles. I didn't have anything transformed on hand right now, but I'll just transform real quick. But what do I think about this figure? I feel like for what his price is and for how big he is, you're actually getting a pretty good amount of stuff for what you're getting here for his price, honestly, and how big he is. Because he's bigger than he's about the same size as a leader class, honestly, for what you're getting. I mean, I do have my gripes with the figure. I feel like he's not perfect. He's almost perfect, but I feel like he could have been a little bit better. Like, I do wish he had a closed fist instead of a open palm hand. That's one thing I do wish he had. Something's stuck. Like, I don't know, I feel like that would have worked better in my opinion if he had a closed fist instead of an open palm. And just the arm articulation is a little weak, and so is the ankles, but besides that, he's honestly a really fun and sturdy figure. He feels nice in your hand, and I didn't mention this, but he does have light piping. So he does have light piping, so if you want to do that. And he's just, no, he's all around a pretty good figure for what you're getting, but he's just missing that tiny little something that could have made him the definitive Bumblebee movie Shockwave. But besides that, he's all around, like, very nice. The sculpting is, like, phenomenal, and the detailing on it, I love it. And I do love the, I didn't mention it earlier, but I do feel like it's a little weak in some spots, but the subtle dry brushing on the figure is pretty decent for what you're getting, honestly. Like a $35 toy. So the dry brushing is not bad, honestly. I wish there was a little more here and there, but besides that, like, I wish there was a little on the feet. Besides that, he's pretty good, honestly. And the arm articulation is just, my only issue with this toy is the arm articulation and, like, the head articulation and the ankles. It's like my only big issue with this toy. Besides that, I love it. He's super nice. He feels nice. He's well made. The sculpting is awesome. And just everything about him is very nice. He does look also phenomenal next to Shockwave. I mean, Starscream and Soundwave, as you saw earlier. He looks absolutely great next to those two. And of course, I'm going to guess a lot of people are going to have him display with those two, because he does look absolutely phenomenal. Sadly, I do not have Megatron yet, but when I get Megatron, I'm definitely going to have all four of them displayed together, because these guys look awesome together. And it's so nice not having that little core class guy be Shockwave, because these guys look so great. They look awesome. I love it. This is like the perfect centerpiece shot for like a collection, honestly. And if I had Megatron, he'd definitely be in the middle. If I had Megatron, sadly, but I don't. But these guys look freaking awesome. And I really hope we get more Seekers, because I heard we're gonna get Skywarp next, so I hope he comes out. But that has been my review for Studio Series number 110, Bumblebee movie Shockwave. What do you think about this figure, if you have him, and if you want him? What do you think about the strange Autobot symbol inclusion? And what do you think about the general, like, you know, sculpting and articulation? What's your opinion down below? This is my review of Transformers Studio Series Shockwave, Bumblebee movie edition, you know, whatever. But that was my review. What's your opinion? Comment down below. This is me, signing off. See you next time. Goodbye.